Welcome to another episode of Legacy. This is episode 4 of my interview series where I, Tez Ilyas, comedian, actor, soon to be author, interview interesting people, my friends and people that I've got to know in this industry. My industry, whether they're an actor or a comedian or a writer or beyond that, if they're an athlete or it's just interesting people who you might have come across. Now this week is a biggie. Whew. I have got man like Mobeeeeenah himself, Guz Khan, my best friend in the industry, the guy I get on with the most, the guy I have the best shorthand with. Now, as of recording this, my brother just got nominated for a BAFTA. So I cannot wait to talk to Guz Khan, find out what he wants to be remembered for, but also just talk about the stupid shit that we've got up to when we've been together in this game. Without further ado, Guz Khan. Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A thodi jumper mein dekhiya hun mein kya? Wow! Lovely, nice.
Very nice, brother. Cookie sweater now. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a biggie vibe. But you're cute, ain't ya? You're a bloody cutie, that's what it is.
What's going on with your voice shot? Let me just duck down a little bit.
Okay, listen. Look,
Go on, what's happening there?
Yeah, because everywhere's closed. Ribba's closed. Shout out Ribba if you're on the live right now, my brother. You've left me in a bad way. And I'm wearing my daughter's headband, bro.
That's your... Listen, before we start, have you pressed record?
Guys, just so you know as well, yeah, Tez has to go through these things with me like I am the biggest uncle who has just arrived to United Kingdom of all time.
I do. Anyway, listen, I was saying to these guys that the reason I'm a little bit late is because I was on the phone to you before we just started. So tell these guys what you were saying about Jews.
Dude, bastard admi hai. He's a big bastard guy, I swear. You know what, bro? There was bear. Truth is, yeah, Tez ain't telling the truth, yeah. He's like, oh, sorry for the technical difficulties. It's like both me and him were in our jadiyan, yeah, until at least 30 seconds ago. So let's throw all them things out the way there and present to the people the reality. Me and Tez, yeah, are the two biggest packs in this game by far.
Like, I would say kamine.
Kutte bastard Ramzadeh. That's me and you.
Full. If our conversations that we have with each other on WhatsApp when we're in person, if even 1% of them got leaked, yes, we'll fully be dead. I'll throw myself in a volcano.
Listen, brother, you know the thing is, I was wearing this today, yeah, this headband, and I was thinking, right, if me and Tez had gone to the same school, yeah, what would that have been like, yeah, wearing a girl's headband to school? Bro, we were such dickheads growing up, yeah. It reminded me of a story. There was this brethren, and he wore pink socks to school, yeah. He wore pink socks to school. He had a black pant, pink socks, and he had his I'm sure they were either US Brass. Do you remember that brand? US Brass.
I remember US Brass, and I remember Kickers as well.
Yeah, we couldn't afford Kickers. He had US Brass and pink socks, yeah. And every single person, bro, this was like year 9. We weren't even like year 7. In year 9 was like, oh, you know what? They're like, what? He's gay, innit? He's got pink socks. He's gay.
But it's 100% confirmed.
He is gay. And bro, I remember this went on throughout the day and it started creeping to other form groups and other classrooms. And there was one guy, really sensible guy. He's like, nah, but it might be just that like he didn't have clean socks in it. So he just wore his sisters. Everyone went silent for like 10 seconds and they were like, Nah, he's gay. Nah, he's
surely you'd go without socks rather than wear pink socks, innit? That would be the thing.
Why would you wear pink socks on? Yeah? Why would you wear pink socks on if you can go nange feet and avoid these? But we were such idiots growing up. And you know what, bro? Like, this is a massive thing for, I'm sure there's a lot of people logged into this who are watching it as well. Like, me and you're a little bit older than me, but we're about the same age, mid-30s, yeah?
Yeah.
Growing up, the amount of shit, I'm so glad that we grew and we learned to leave behind. Flipping heck, man. Ridiculous.
But if we had Twitter, Instagram, these TikTok things in the 90s, yeah, we wouldn't have a career. Even before we started, before it was, and welcome to the stage, God, he said that word in 1994. He'd be like, yes, he did. He's on TikTok. He's on his TikTok here. And he is out of the game. There is no Guz Khan for your entertainment, please.
Bro, you know, like also there's those kind of situations as well. But just like if we were growing up, right? On the flip side, of course, we would have all got in so much trouble from whether it's violence or criminality. But the amount of jokes we would have caught, bro, I do miss that. I really regret that. We came into Kevin's K750 era, yeah, K750i, Sony Ericsson, and the camera was so dippy anyway that you couldn't really capture emotions. But truth be told, bro, if we'd have had this level of technology now, bro, flipping it, just to document it. Do you know what I mean?
I remember the first time we got like phones on cameras and stuff was around about like the early 2000s, innit? Yeah. And in 2004, I had just left uni, and I was going back. One of them was I was going back to visit every so often. And this one time, I just turned up to my friend's place in Salwar Kameez. I'd come from Blackburn, read my Isha Namaz, drove to Lancaster. It's only 40 minutes away. Turned up in Salwar Kameez. He's going out. I mean, out. So I'm like,
Toba, he was going to link that.
He was going out, like babanta kalabanta, right? And I'm like, but yara, and he's like, just come. And I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll go, bro. We went into town. We went to this bar called Bentley's, yeah. There's like 10 of
your
us.
Salwar Kameez.
I went in my Salwar Kameez. These lot started taking videos, yeah, and I started sitting next to girls, and my friends got the camera phone going, ladies, he's just come from Afghanistan, and he's never met any white women before, so he would just like to say hello. Then I would come and be like, hello, thank you very much, please, and I'd come and sit down and I'd be like, is okay? Is okay like this? Is this one is okay? And bro, there's videos of me just going and Topi in Bentleys in Lancaster in like 2004-5, bro. It's Toba.
Listen, you are pakka begaret, but I guarantee to you, comparatively to the way that you look, I bet you some of the ladies are like, oh no, he's nice, lad. Oh, you're a nice lad, you are. Yeah, you're a nice 100%. Lad, you.
I was like, they were like, one of my friends was like, give him a little peck on the cheek, and I was like,
oh!
Obviously in my head I was like, okay, but I was like, obviously that's playing the character in it of this Afghan refugee, and they're going and then they gave me a kiss, and then like on the cheek, just like a peck like that, and I'll be like,
I mean, bro, that's pretty incredible. That's listen, bro, listen, fully haram, but that's circa heydays of the Taliban, and you still managed to pull. So I mean,
charm is it goes beyond boundaries.
Honestly, your mom's gonna see this. My mom's gonna see this. Tobakar, please,
your mom's not on Instagram live yet. If she is, auntie, please log off.
No, screen record, and it's gonna be in the family WhatsApp group.
I publish this afterwards, isn't it?
Toba stuff like anyway.
Listen, Gus Khan, yeah, we've read a lot about you, heard a lot from you over the years, but obviously now you're talking to someone who knows you better than anyone else in the industry. In this industry anyway. So I want to know, truthfully, between you and me and the sponsor bande watching, yeah? You know when you're gone from this, when you're done from this dunya I'm talking about, inshallah it'll be a long, long time from now. But what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to be remembered for?
Yeah, like one, obviously you said it there, summarized it. One is within comedy and what we do for a job, because this is very much what it is, right? And then one is as a human being. So look, bro, I'm a father of 4.
MashaAllah, subhanallah, Allahu Akbar.
Thank you, very, very powerful, very powerful. And I think at the end of the day, bro, what I would love for my kids and my nieces and nephews, the people closest to me, for them to be aware that, and I haven't tripped up as of yet, and I pray I don't, but I am the same guy, bro, that I was when I was 9 years old, yeah, throwing stones at people's windows, that I am right now, yeah? And
did you ever, all right, listen, did you ever, and Allah's watching as a witness, yeah? Allah's my witness. Did you ever post live fireworks through people's letterboxes?
No, because that's terrorism. Yeah, you can't. No, so I'm not gonna be on Instagram live saying I committed acts of terrorism for banks. No, I ain't gonna say that shit, brother.
There was no terrorism in the 90s. I'm talking about 90s. Terrorism only started in 2001. Forget Ireland and all that. Like what, bro? But I never in it, because you know me. I'm a nice lad in it, bro. There were people around me doing the most, bro. There were people around me This is how far they took it. On this one house, they did everything. Firework through the letterbox, glass bottle on the door handle, and a piece of crap on the floor outside. Everything.
Now,
Triple combo on one person.
The thing is, bro, like, you lot with them lot, in every time you came in the news, we were like, good there. Hey, bro, you were them packs. Every time.
No, you lot from the Midlands, though. What are you talking about with them packs? You're from the Midlands.
Listen, bro, like, I get it. If you want to talk about, like, criminality and these kind of fungi, I'll absolutely agree with you, yeah? But, you know, like, yeah, well, go on, let's get the firework, yeah? And where's the booty? Where's the booty live? Where's the booty live?
You know the one Gora in the whole area?
No, that's not, bro, that's not how it was for us. That's not. Yeah! Do it up!
Because one time, he said, "Oi lads, keep the noise down." And we were like, "Jal, we'll see on one fire night."
Nah, bro, no. Okay, so let me give you a flip side here. I think what's important is, like, for people to understand as well, like, Blackburn, I've been your ends a couple of times, yeah? And there's a lot of Apne there, a lot of Pakistanis, yeah? Predominantly.
Too many.
I think there's a mix of Bangladeshi, there's probably Gujaratis as well, but
it's Gujarati Muslims, Pakistanis and Bengalis.
Yeah. So like, it was very, but where we're from in the West Midlands, bro, it was much more mixed than that. And so if you talk about my own personal family experiences growing up, my mum's two brothers, her Sugge brothers in this country, we still to this day can't figure out how, but obviously they married white Irish women in the early 70s.
That's the dream.
Yeah, bro, like, they smashed it, innit? Like, my uncle...
Two Pakistanis. Come on, that's...
Do you understand? So, bro, obviously there was a certain level of, I thank God, understanding and education around that, right? In terms of, there's certain fungi that you can do and you can't do. But one thing I will say is, bro, like, when I stumbled into this industry, like, I knew immediately when I set my eyes on you, yeah? I set my eyes immediately. Look at you! Besham, yeah? As soon as I set my eyes on you, I was like, eh, mera cousin hega. Bro, Allah ni qasam, that was the feeling. Yo, this is my cousin.
The same thing. The second I spoke to you, I was like, this is my cousin Wasim. That's who I named you after in that Bounty episode. I was like, this is my cousin here right now.
You know, bro, and it was so comforting because everywhere I travel, either Lumbuzumi or Barizumi, yeah? So we're going around and we're meeting, especially in them early few weeks, Tez, I was like, these people are very strange, you know? These people are very strange, Ajib. And then Tez comes out, and I remember, you know, one thing you lot all need to know about Tez, here's one thing, yeah? You know when he does this thing with his teeth, yeah, he does this, like, he goes, yeah? And when he does this, when he goes, then I know something bad's going to happen. So I saw him stroll out on stage like, hi guys. And that was it. From that day on, bro, this guy has fully, officially been a relative of mine.
Listen, there's one thing I want to clarify. December 2016, December 2016, the first time me and you went on tour together, we won't say the charity, but the charity tour around the country. And it's a 25-day tour in it, so over 31 days is intense. We're going to be with each other for a long, long time. It's me, you, and there's 5 other comedians, as well as a crew of 10 other people. I still want to know what happened that first night in Glasgow.
Look, first of all, I want to start this entire story by saying, never in my life had I truly understood, right? Truly understood the Islamic life mantra that you only really know somebody when you travel with them. Yeah? When you travel with them, when you're doing come with them. So the first night, and I remember, like, you know, Tez is very excitable. Tez is very excited. There's a lot of comedians. As a person, I think you'll be fair to say, like, I'm a bit like, I don't mind. I'll kick back a bit. You know what I mean? Like, kick back.
You can be the most relaxed guy, or you can be the guy on ecstasy. But without having ecstasy, like, you've got that full range. You can be, if you're with me, we're like, what's the biggest panga we can cause right now? And if you're with more armor, you can be like, let's have a conversation about whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you just, in between, me, I'm in 5th gear all the time going, where's the pange? And how can I, in the middle of it, do this.
But you know what? Like, so we're on that tour the first day, yeah. And I remember thinking, anyway, Andron, I spoke to Lumbu and I was like, Lumbu, and he was like, yeah. I goes, "It banga hojana on this tour." I could feel, bro. From day one, I was like, "Kushna kush hojana," because you was too excited. You was too excited, yeah. Now, the first day in Glasgow, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time me, Tez, and a host of other comedians have really spent time together. 30 days on the bounce, right? And I remember expressly, a very practicing Muslim man came to the whole group and said, "Guys, this is a family tour. Families will come and we have to ensure that Islamic etiquette and morality is at the forefront of everything you guys do." Is that understood? And then everybody...
we all took that on board.
Everybody, bro, Tez was there on the front row going,
Yeah, I took that. I took my responsibility very seriously.
Exactly, but I want to note something. Remember, I told you about his face earlier on. So the brother says, "Let's make dua. Let's supplicate together. We supplicate together. Let's have a great tour. Let's raise a lot of funds for charity. Let's have fun." Everyone's got their hands in front of it. And then when Tez's hands came away from his face, this is what I saw. That night, after the show, everybody was stood taking pictures with 7-year-old kids, 10-year-old kids, mums and dads, yeah? And I still remember the photographer, everyone was standing there, quite, Sharif, everyone's behaving themselves, lots of different cultures slap bang together. Everyone was stood in a row, and the photographer on the first night of the tour said, "Right, everybody, cheese." Everybody quite nicely said, and there was one guy in the corner, yeah? Who do you think that was?
Go on, carry on the story. Sorry,
that was Tez Ilyas, yeah? And in the corner, he was stood next to a 7-year-old kid, a 12-year-old kid, and their mum. Everyone's like, "Cheese." And Tez goes, "Cheese."
Listen, I thought we were doing gang signs, innit? So you said cheese and I went like that, and I thought it was one of them where I thought everyone would be like, "Yeah, comedy and that rock and roll." Everyone went, What are you doing?"
No, bro, I heard one audible astaghfirullah from the corner, yeah? There was one audible astaghfirullah. I remember that clearly, and I remember Bello did. Bro, that was the first day, Tez. That was the first day, watch my face. I was smiling. Bro, when you did this, that's the first day that my face went.
Yeah. How many times have you done that since?
Several times. But I want to say,
the reason I brought up that story was because I wasn't even talking about that.
What were you talking about?
I was talking about the rest of that night.
What happened the rest of it?
So, okay, let me tell a story then. So...
Now, but what was it? Was it on me?
Despite me doing what I was doing, the show went really well. We raised a lot of money. The venue was very happy with what we did. And unfortunately, there was an incident at the end when our team were clearing up and some of the hotel staff were a little bit rude to them. And so our tour manager was a bit like, "What's going on there? I'm going to have a word with the manager in the morning." In the morning, our guy, big up Fazatullah, he has a meeting with the manager of the hotel and he goes, "Look, I just want to, hang on, I'll do Faz in it. Hi, I just want to talk to you guys because we had a really good comedy show and I just want to know why your staff was a bit rude to us last night." And the hotel manager said, "We loved having you guys here. We thought it was a really good evening. I'll have a chat with my staff to make sure that isn't repeated because we shouldn't be talking to guests like that. Unfortunately, and we were thinking we'd have you guys back next year because the event was so good. And actually, I was thinking we'd give you the guys the venue for free next year. Unfortunately, there's been an incident where several penises have been drawn on staff notice boards, and in the wine cellar downstairs, someone has taken the wines off the wine racks and made a mosaic of a penis, almost like a haram art tag."
That is,
and
that's bad.
And I will say, to this day, no one knows who it was.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with the story. I remember I heard about that. Yeah,
You heard about that, yeah?
I heard about that. Yeah.
You heard about that, yeah?
I heard about it. It's bad. Like, I want to. Whoever did that was
disgrace.
Immature. there was idiot, stupid people in it. There were, bro, idiot, stupid people to do that. And whoever you are, I hope you've made sincere repentance for that, because it's not funny to do lullian shapes out of champagne bottles. That's not funny.
And especially like on one of them, apparently someone had added details in of hairs coming out and like mudar coming out at the top. And personally, I don't know who would add such detail like that. What sort of people are there? Who has infiltrated the group on this tour that would do that? Which is Mike. Hopefully one day we'll get to the bottom of it. But that's a story for another time.
You know, and whoever it is should really feel guilty, because that venue refused to ever host the people again. So I want to say, whoever that was, Sharam Karbastro, this is, Sharam is fundamental.
Yeah. And that was the first day of the tour.
Every day, from that day onward, every day was, look, okay, first day of the tour, Tez is around a bunch of kids and their parents, and Tez is smile, and Tez does this, yeah? There was, I can only term it as what one would call a crisis meeting. There was a Cobra meeting 20 days into the tour. And in this Cobra meeting, Faz, this beautiful, wonderful lad, good mate of ours,
love that.
Scratching his head like this, yeah? So much tension. He said, I cannot express to you lot how much I need you to ensure that tonight, when we have the head of the charity in
the Manchester show, yeah,
that you guys just keep it clean, you behave yourselves, no bunge, gande, calm, stupid cheesa tonight. Yeah. Do I have everyone's agreement? And everyone's like, yeah. And he said, I don't believe you, bastards.
I said yes as well.
He said, I don't believe you. Say wallahi. And everyone says wallahi, and Tez says, yeah. So
no, I said Allah di qasam, bro.
You said, bro. Even you said Allah di qasam. So everyone's going on to do their sets now. Everyone, and it's a big crowd. Everyone's having fun. It's great comedians out there. They're getting clapped. It comes time for Tez. Now remember what we said. Tez has already been reprimanded for sticking his middle finger up at the very beginning of the tour. We've all been reprimanded.
We had the Newcastle show.
That's a special story. You can tell that in a minute, right? We'd all been reprimanded throughout this whole tour for misbehavior, keep it clean, family show, yeah? Tez's name is announced. And I remember I was stood at the back with Mo Ahmed. I was stood back with Mo Ahmed. I was with Amir Rahman. I was with Lumbu. All of us stood at the back. And we were then taking halal bets on how badly is Tez going to fuck this up? How badly? Tez strolls out, yeah? He takes the mic. Hi, guys. Everyone, it's okay for now. I stop concentrating and I go to the pick and mix stall. And by the time I look back, all I hear is Faz, the most calm, most generous man I've ever met in my life, saying, for fuck's sake, man. I switch my eyes back to the stage. And Tez, despite being told, behave yourself, don't mess around tonight. Tez, what did you do?
No, but in my defense, I only did it 3 times on stage that night.
Three times we got told, Tusi log, don't mess around. And bro, he did it what? Listen, he did it once this way. And then you did and the CEO of the charity was sat on the front row, flabbergasted. This man is from war-torn country, and he's come here like, bought his kids, bought his wife. You know, bro, you know your haddi, yeah? It's so deep, but I couldn't live without it.
That's some
fucking
rock and roll, innit? We raised £2 million that tour.
There's a lot of money.
But also, what I will say is, Guz, night after night, who were getting the text messages and the tweets and the stories saying, well done tonight, you lot were the best. Who was getting them? That doesn't matter. Listen, what I will say is, the tour was, there was too many pange. If you see my stand-up of that bit where we're having a chat and then we go outside because someone's having a fight and we go and cut it out, and then the taxi driver, we don't cut it out. That story happened on this tour. Your wife killed someone. There was so much going on that tour. Remember that? Your wife killed your neighbor. There was so much. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
That was that tour.
That was that tour where your wife murdered the neighbor and the police came.
Shandy and Dino killed the neighbor. That
was
true.
that tour. You left.
You know what? We're not even gonna get into that story. But that's also what, bro. You know what? That tour, bro. That tour was so legendary in terms of cementing. Forget everyone else. In terms of cementing me and you, really, I think me, you, and Lumbo, like that bond was cemented after that tour because immediately I knew, you know, this guy. He's going to continue to get into so many bungie his entire life, yeah? That it's incumbent on me for as long as that I'm in this game and outside this game. I gotta watch you to make sure you don't go triple extra super hard bungie, bro.
You know what's funny about this? You know when I'm not in charge, I regress into a 14-year-old and be like, what's the biggest bungie I can get away with? But when I'm in charge, like when I'm with my nephews and nieces, they don't see that side of me. They don't see it. I'm that hard uncle who's like, they're like, oh, I wish you'd chill out a bit. Like I'm a proper dick with them. I feel sorry for them a bit because I'm like, you know, everyone thinks I'm hilarious and you lot thinking, how?
No, listen, you're doing what is required. But like, bro, for me. What I learned in that short period, and bro, that was only, what was it, 2015?
16. Yeah, we just filmed the pilot episode of Man Like Mobeeeeenah.
How do we?
The one where I shoot you.
Oh, you shot me, my ass. Like, bro, that seems like a lifetime ago, Tez.
I know, mad, innit?
That seems like a lifetime ago. And you know what? Like, obviously, I genuinely believe that people are destined to meet and people are destined to. We probably mucked around in that garden of souls, bro. Because some people they just connect and it happens and you know, bro. It's something really important that I learned was like to maintain and be yourself in this game, and it's the most important thing. So it was just natural that we were going to get on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and actually, you've kept me really grounded. The amount of conversations we've had about making sure that we stay who we are in this, no matter where we get to. And we've seen it with friends of ours and people that we know, people that we love and respect, when they've reached certain levels in this industry, how their viewpoint of the world changes. And the sort of thing that scares us a little bit, that we want to be successful and get as far as we can. But at the moment it starts compromising this, then we got to turn back.
Yeah, bro. And you know, I think this is really important for people to be aware of. Like, for anybody who's in this group, friends that we have, whether it's comedically or just in general, and now that we're out here talking publicly in front of all these people who love and follow what we do, yeah, like I think there's something really important that I said to Tez early on, and something that he genuinely believes as well, is like, you know, this dunya, you know, this thing that we do, bro, it's all temporary. In reality, everything that we do here right now and all the entertainment that we provide, we hope that it facilitates some good and you lot are having a laugh. That's great. It's nice to be recognized as someone who's funny, but more importantly, bro, it's all dunya di cheese. Dunya the cheese, what does that mean? It's all worldly stuff. And I think that's on a deeper level why me and you get on, because we're acutely aware. I will remind you, you will remind me that, bro, this is all temporary. Like, genuinely, bro, you know me well enough by now to know, yeah, that, for example, that BAFTA thing the other week that I got nominated for, yeah?
Mobeeeeenah.
Right? Nah, yeah, thanks. But bro, when them tweets started coming out, yeah, got some. My duty came out because I thought it was something completely different.
Oh yeah, tell the story you told me. You got text messages from a number you didn't know.
Yeah, my phone's going off like mad. Yeah, my phone's going off like mad. Ping, ping, ping. I'm ignoring it. I'm suttape. I'm sleep like top. But I'm just sleeping like. And it kept going off. So I picked up my phone, and the first number that was on screen was a number that I hadn't saved. So it's +447 something whatever, right? And in capital letters, it says, I can't believe you did it. And Mesocha finished. Thank you, game. Bro, I thought everything finished. Thank you, my career. Put it in the bin. It was good while it lasted. And then when I was like, shit myself. I was like, oh shit, it's all going to come out now. And when I clicked
what's come out? Which one story? Never mind that story. Like, get a story.
Give us stories.
This.
Which on this checklist of horror things, what's come out? It turns out it was a BAFTA nomination. As soon as I read it was BAFTA nomination, I turned my phone over and I went back to sleep because, bro, you know me acutely.
The highlight of your career was, oh, shukran, chalo, theek hai. Okay.
Yeah, bro. Thank you for summarizing. So, thank you, chalo, theek hai. We'll come back to it in a bit. Like, bro, the times that we have and the fun that we have and the great content we create, that's the most important thing. But you know, like all these personal accolades and stuff like that, yeah, we know, me and you have been taught by our mums to understand that this is all nafs and it's self. So the further you can detach from that ego and that self-worth, which is like, I'm incredible, I'm great, bro, throw that in a bin, because ultimately, man, you know what I've really learned during this pandemic, being at home with the kids, and you know, mum lives with me as well, and you know, we're all together, and that is, bro, shit, man, I've got such a long way to go, Tez. Do you know what I mean? I've got such a long way to go, bro, in terms of my spiritual journey, who I am as a human being, who I am as a Muslim, because like outwardly appearance, like, you know, we both got facial hair, you know, pray 5 times a day, we do all these basic things, but bro, you know, as a Muslim, as a human being, god damn, blood, I got a long way to go. Do you know what I mean? And at the best of times...
that's the thing that I've noticed about you as well. You've got such a long way to go. And every time I try and correct your character, it doesn't really work. There was a lot of projection in that sentence.
You're such a look. But you know what, bro? Like, it's... For some people understand, for me and you to have that conversation, I'm not sure there's anybody else in the whole game that I could have a conversation with like that, as frankly, in terms of where we are. Like, to pick up a phone, right, everybody else would be like, oh, you guys are smashing it, you're doing so well, the show's great, oh, Tez, your stand-ups are mate. Bro, only me and you can acutely remind ourselves that, lalu, Galson, it's all bullshit, really. Don't get carried away with it.
Proper.
And not take offense, and not any of this business, because ultimately, bro, like, we're all living on borrowed time, and yeah, none of it you're gonna take with you. And I know this is all tokenistic, and I know a lot of people will be like, oh, right, chill out, lads, chill out. You know what I mean? You're being all serious and that. But the truth is, bro, me and you in particular have been raised by our mums to be aware that, yeah, who you are as a person, your connection with your spirit, your Lord, your family, and society around you, that's what dictates the kind of person that you are. Do you get what I mean?
100%. I'm so acutely aware of it. And even now, like, I'm currently in the process of writing a book about my life between the age of 13 to 18. And it's a big project that's going to take me all summer. But the first thing I did when I wrote it, thank you very much. But the first thing I did when I wrote it, the first bit I wrote for Taiba, Rais Ali, Amina, Ibrahim, Anisa and Umema and Qasim, and those are my nieces and nephews. And honestly, when I wrote the last name Qasim, I had a slight tear. Like, I had a slight tear in my eye. I'm like, I'm writing this for them, so that they look at what their uncle went through and they have something catalogued. We didn't have those books growing up, bro. We didn't have any books of people who'd come before us speaking in our language, telling us what it was like growing up in the 70s and 80s and what they went through to where we are now. We didn't have that. And for me to be able to write that, for them to be able to read, it's a big responsibility, man. It's a big blessing as well.
No, bro, look, you know, everything happens for a reason. You, Tez Ilyas, have been chosen because you are a working class kid that was raised in Blackburn, that grew up in a family of many siblings, many families, and you grew up essentially with a mother. And for me, it's early to say. I was going to say it later on, but there's something for me about you. Forget this comedy bullshit, bro. It's going to come, it's going to go. You're hot one day, you're not the next. But as a human being, there's one thing, well, and two things, but there's one thing fundamentally that means that forever, wallahi, bro, you could pick up the phone to me at whatever time of night, whatever the problem is, and we'll be there. Because a few years ago, when you were living in London and your comedy career was really like sparking and taking off, you made a choice to leave London, like the hotbed of comedy, the home of, career aspirations. You made a choice, bro, to leave, and you made a choice to go home, and you made a choice to look after your mum, bro. And that single choice that you made there, bro, everything else aside, for the sake of Allah, bro, I've got your back from now until the last time that I have breath in my body, because that for me is the testament of a man. That for me shows you somebody's character. Yeah, of course, bro, you can be silly and immature. All them things, you can stick your middle finger up when there's little kids around. But as a human being, to make that choice to go home and look after your ummi when I might be wrong, but I'm assuming everybody around you in the comedy world, your world of work, would have been like, fucking hell, are you crazy? You're going back to Blackburn? I don't understand. Bro, you made a choice to go home and look after your mum. Allah will reward you for that. I've got you for that. And bro, like, forget how funny you are and all this kind of shit. Anything that I do, I want you involved because, yo, man, that's big man shit. That's a big man thing.
Bro, you're gonna make me cry in my own life, man.
Nice, bro. I'm being honest with you, bro. You could come to me and say, "Oh, man, Hollywood movie kita. I'm here, I'm there, bro." I would be like, "Oh yeah, safe." When you tell me a story about I'm taking my mum on Hajj, bro, my heart melts anyway. Wallahi, you know what I'm like.
I remember that. I remember your voice when because we rang each other. You were telling me about your newborn, the ugly one. He was just born then, innit? This kid, wallahi, is one of the cutest things you've ever seen in your life. Toba.
Now he was butters when he was born, but stuff.
And so you were telling me about that, and I was telling you at that same time I was just taking my mum and going with my sister and my big sister on Hajj, and I remember how much your voice changed when I told you that story, and I think something changed in you about me at that moment. It was you kind of like, rah, okay, because we see a lot in this industry where you've got people from our background who kind of they don't rep in it. They don't remember where they're from. They don't rep. They make sure that they can get them that they rep for themselves, and they showcase themselves in a way that makes them appealing to the most amount of people. And we were never about that. We were always about repping ourselves, our community, our families, and looking after them first and foremost. And that's when the second I met you at the Comedy Store, this was June 2015, after the Pakisaurus stuff came out, you got in touch with me about those Eid videos. And the second I met you, the first Punjab we sat together, I was like, this guy's my cousin, man. And whatever I do in my life, bro, remember that first audition we had for Man Like Mobeeeeenah, and I walked in, and then after that audition I left, and they were like, how long did you rehearse that for? And you were like, what are you talking about?
It's just, bro. It's like I suppose the technical term that you use is chemistry, but ultimately, bro, if it's something you can't teach. Like there's people who go to drama school and acting school and comedy classes. Like, bro, for me, I literally hit the ground running and kept thinking it was going to be gone anyway. So for me to find someone like you and vibe with you and ensure that. The scene. One thing I would like to think, and you can tell me yes or no, is that like when I do comedy, like I'm not a greedy guy. Do you get what I mean, bro? Like I'm not bothered about. We could like so many scenes I love in Man Like Mobeeeeenah. As long as our lot, when I say our lot, I mean working class people first of all, black, white, Asian are getting a great show and they're getting a proper representation. It doesn't matter to me who's the funniest or who's like you're my favorite character in the show by far, bro. And in my head, it never comes in there like something that I've seen a lot of this comedy industry, which is like, oh, I need to make sure. Bro, I don't give a shit. You know me by now, innit? I don't care, bro.
It's like the same. When I wrote Bounty, they were like, yeah. Why are you giving Gus all the best lines? And I'm like, because that's the character. Like his character's the bro. Funny guy. He's playing my cousin. You don't understand. I am not the funniest person in my family. I'm like fourth.
Yeah.
I've got my two cousins, my dad, then me. Like there's like I'm not like these. I come from a very funny family, and Gus is the funniest person that I know in the circus. So like whatever I write, he's gonna add extra 20% onto it anyway. So it's like same. It's never bothered me. It's like as long as the product is good and people who we want to appreciate it. It doesn't matter, bro.
That's the most important thing. And like we are 3 seasons into Man Like Mobeeeeenah, and one thing that I am The one thing that I am very happy about, that I was always conscious about making sure that we got right, is that I genuinely believe that we give people the humour when it needs to be there, but there's not anyone that can tune into the show who's from our background. There's a lot of affluent brown people, bro, who might be like, "Oh my god, what?" It's like, yo, shut up and mind your business, bro. This ain't about you. This ain't for you, Don. This ain't for you. I understand that in your very financially well secured upbringing that you don't see brown people like this, but where we're from, this is what brown people look like. Where we're from, these are the kind of problems that brown people be going through. Working class people in general, but you know, if you're talking about a Pakistani centric story, these are the things that our people have gone through and are still dealing with now. So I couldn't care less if you feel that it's not the correct representation. You write something about being a really boring journalist, and then me and Tez will be like, "That's a fucking shit show, man. That's a shit show. Turn that shit off."
Listen, the amount of... You're so right, because the amount of messages I've had about the end of Man Like Mobeeeeenah season 3, Tar, and I remember having a proper deep conversation with someone a couple of weeks ago, and they said, "Tez, why did your character die at the end of..." And just to confirm, he is dead, because I get a lot of them questions as well. That 8 dies, just so you know. For, like, you know, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. May he go to a bed. May he go to a bed. I'm sure he will, knowing his IQ score. He will be in a better place. But I remember having this conversation with someone a few weeks ago and saying, "Why did your character die? Like, you know, why did you do that?" And I said to them, "It's about representing where we're from." And they go, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Have you watched the news last week?" And they said, "Yeah." I go, "Did you see that girl who got shot walking to the supermarket?" And they went, "Yeah." And I went, "That happened a 20-minute walk from where I live, where this young girl was just on the way to the supermarket, minding her own business, and she gets caught up in something that's nothing to do with her, and unfortunately, she gets killed. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. May Allah grant her paradise." And the thing about 8 is, he is the most innocent character on that show. And so we want to... and you said this, that you wanted to show that in this world, if you go down the path that Mobeeeeenah goes down, or is led down, the people that will get hurt are the people around you, Don. Not you, maybe necessarily, but the people around you, guaranteed one or more are going to get hurt. And that's why I respect for you doing what you did, because it's real, bro. We've all lived this life where we've lost, bro. We lost someone so close to us in the mid-90s, and he was killed like 10 minutes from where I'm sitting now. No. Because he was going to cut a fight out, and some Donny turned around and stabbed him, and unfortunately slashed him. And the way they did it, it wasn't possible to patch him back up, and he lost his life. Bro, he was. I was 12, he was 17, bro. He was the light in his mum's eyes, and he got extinguished. His mum is still not the same 25 years later. So So we tell these stories because that reflects our reality, and it's probably even more acute for you in the Midlands, because at least most of the time up here they sort things out with fists or baseball bats or cricket bats. But in the Midlands it's different, and in the South it's even more acute, where sometimes violence is solved with knives and guns.
Yeah, bro. Look, you've summarised it perfectly in terms of why that core character had to die. There is no level of emotional impact amongst. If Mobeeeeenah had died, in my head, you can summarise it that, oh well, if you are dragged into this kind of situation, then that's the inevitability of what takes place. But that is not what happens in real life, as you said. In real life, if you have a reputation, generally you're okay. People will try and get at the people closest to you, whether that's family members, whether that's cousins, whether that's someone who catches. You know, bro, like there's a lad here in Cov. This is just a couple of months ago, and he was on his way home from Juma. It's a young Tanzanian brother. He's on his way home from Juma. He's in his thobe. He's going to pick up groceries for his mum, and 2 other Muslims jump out on him. They are teenagers themselves, and they kill him in broad daylight and leave him bleeding out after he has just finished Juma. With Man Like Mobeeeeenah as a show, I knew that it was my personal responsibility, because it's not anyone else's job, Tez. It's not the BBC's. It's not Jill Isles. It's not Andy Millick. It's none of it. These guys are all here to help us make a great show, but it's my responsibility to ensure that these stories are spoken about, because ultimately, bro, our youngsters, and I mean all encompassing that term, our youngsters are involved in such frivolous levels of murder and self-harm and criminality that we need to take stock and look at ourselves. Like, I want to speak specifically about the Asian community here. And I want to say something that I believe is true from my heart, yeah? And that is, if you as a parent are focused on working 16 hours a day as a cabbie or 12 hours a night working in the restaurant, and you are only seeing your sons and daughters for an hour and a half an hour, sometimes not any time in a day, that you need to forget the basic for a minute, and you need to come home and talk to the children that you help to father and you help to mother. And I don't want to say that that's every single family, but Tez, I think I'm fair in saying that we have a long way to go as a community in order to ensure that we are actually aware of what our kids are doing, bro.
So much, man. And not just kids, bro. Like, I mean, I don't want to focus on this, but you know the stuff around the grooming gangs up north, like in Rotherham and Rochdale and all those places. Those aren't kids. Those are grown ass men, Uncle G's, Baba G's, doing the absolute most evil that you can do in any society. And so we've got to look ourselves as a community, man, and from top to bottom, like what is the function of our mosques? Is it just so that we can go and pray? Obviously, that should be its most basic function, to give us a space to pray. And let me just say this, they need to start making spaces for our sisters in these mosques as well. But that just should be the most basic that it's there for. It should also be a community center. It should be there as a place that you can discuss and have interesting discussions. It should be a place where you can get counseling. It should be a million and one things that it's not doing at the moment, bro. And I just hope that we can get spaces in our community where we can have difficult conversations, where people can go and get the help that they need, because there is so much depression, so much drug abuse, so much sexual abuse and spousal abuse in our communities that needs to just be gotten. And this is not unique to the Muslim or Pakistani. This is not unique to the Pakistani Asian Muslim community. Every community has these problems, but because we're from these communities, we want to see these things got rid of and just not be in our communities at all.
Yeah, bro, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, and that's the thing. Like, you're not presenting, you're not taking a brush and you're painting it, bro. Whatever community you are part of, if you start to ask people to clean up their own back gardens, it will have an impact. I have seen so many people, bro, stood out and scream, "Now, what about that?" Or "What about that?" It's like, yo, my G, what on with you in your house, in your four walls? Are you being the best husband you can be? Father, son, brother, are you fulfilling these criteria? Because if you aren't, then get off your soapbox for a second and concentrate on what the hell is going on in your own back garden. And once you are trying your level best to get everything fixed in your own back garden, not literally, but you know what I mean, figuratively, then start to work on things within your community. I'm blessed. One thing I love about being from Coventry is we grew up in very mixed environments. We're talking white Irish immigrant families, Caribbean families, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, you know, Indians, the whole shebang of people came together. So we were acutely aware of how there were slight differences in culture. However, there was so much in common that everyone knocked about and got on. However, bro, just the other day I was talking to an incredible actor, Nikesh Patel, who we worked with on Man Like Mobeeeeenah. Bro, he's a beautiful guy. But me and him were on the phone chatting to each other like, right, you know what, brother? You know what? I guarantee you there's people in both our families that if you said to them, "What do you think about Muslims?" They'd be like, "Are Musalman bastard." What do you think? What do you think about Hindus? "Nah, bro, I can't do the Hindu thing, bro. They're worshipping statues, bro. They're all going to..." Bro, these are things that we need to come to a common place and understand that before me and you start shouting at everyone and we get carried away sometimes. Bro, there's so much work that takes place in our communities, and that ultimately, bro, we have a platform. I'm reminding you, and you'll remind me. We have a platform in which we can speak about these things and remind people. But yo, you gotta leave this tribal bullshit behind and understand you need to judge people as human beings. You know what I mean?
There's this amazing Rumi quote, and bless Sheikh Rumi, and may Allah grant him paradise and the highest station of paradise. But there's this amazing Rumi quote where he says, "When I was younger, I was smart, so I wanted to change the world. Now that I'm older and I'm wise, I'm going to change myself."
Wow. SubhanAllah, bro.
And that goes not only for your personal sense, but for your own community as well. And that just summarizes everything that we're saying.
Deal done, bro. And yes, look,
Rumi.
we're here on in the cusp of something where people have been screaming at the top of their lungs for the longest that Black Lives Matter. Yeah, that Black Lives Matter. And I've really, for the first time, taken a lot of detached myself and not necessarily spoken to my closest black friends, because my closest black friends and me, we're too over familiar, Tez. You know what I mean? We are too over familiar for them to break down how they feel to me, because you're brethren, you're boys. You could talk about it, but it's not the same. I've taken my time to listen to black people in our country and about how they really feel, and it's something you have always been vocal about. But prejudice and racism against people of darker skin. And I'm not just going to say black people, but people of darker skin. If you're a dark-skinned South Asian, the prejudice that you will have received from lighter-skinned South Asians is incredible, bro. And
disgusting.
Unfortunately, it still hasn't gone away. So someone asked me the other day, they were like, "Guz, where do I start?" And I say, you got to identify the problem. If you have got a dad who goes to the masjid 5 times a day, he works hard, he does all of the things that quote unquote make you a great Muslim. But if in his heart, if you told him that you were going to marry a black Muslim, if he flips his lid and tells you, if you marry that person, get out my house, you're no longer welcome, bro, that is heresy in the heart. That is haram at a level, impermissibility beyond comprehension. This is why, bro, some people really don't take these things as seriously. And me and you have both been stupid, bro, when we were younger, and you say stupid things, whether you're rapping along to a song, whether your closest friends are black, and you say stupid things, but you're supposed to grow the fuck up, bro. You are supposed to grow the fuck up and understand that the things that you say and the mentality that you harbor has an everyday effect. So it's easy screaming, "Yo, man, what going for all these white guys? They're bare racist." That statement might be true. There's some white people racist, but bro, look at your own back garden. If your uncle is sat at home right now saying, "If you ever bring a black man or woman home, you're banned from my family," he is, in my eyes, a bigger problem than that white racist out there. Concentrate on what the fuck is going on in your own houses, in your own homes, and rid this. Because I'll tell you, bro, I'm no Islamic expert. I'm a dickhead myself, and I'm sure you'll say the same thing about yourself. But if there's one thing I know, that Allah absolutely looks upon racism as something that is most abhorrent. I believe Nabil said this on your live, and it stayed with me, that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he could have said many things in his final speech to mankind, and he chose to bring up racism. And I want to thank Nabil Abdul Rashid for that, because that summarizes it so beautifully, that it was a problem then, and for some people still a problem now. Now, not that everyone's like that, bro. I know my mum, you met my mum bare times, Ted. I wish we could have spoke about her more. But Shandy is not inclined in that way at all. Her best friends since she emigrated to this country have been Caribbean. Her best friends have been white. She's a top geezer. Do you know what I mean? So I know I wouldn't have had that problem, but I certainly know that there might be people in my family who would have had that problem, and that needs fixing.
It's definitely the case in South Asian families, and that's all I can speak of, and particularly Pakistani, because that's where I come from, that there is definitely an issue with anti-blackness and with colorism. Yeah. I know people in my family who use skin lightening creams. I know people in my family who look down on other members of our family because they're darker skin, or they look down on other people in the village back home because they're darker skin. They have names for them.
It's nicknames. It's the nickname thing. Like, yeah, you won't have to say it, but it's nicknames.
But those things carry on to your kids will hear that growing up. And by the time they're 20, 25, their brain has been fixed to then unpick all of that and start unlearning all of that behavior and that mentality. Is going to take a bit of time, but it's on us to make sure that our kids, our nieces, our nephews, the people who watch and consume our art do not take that approach and have a completely different view on humanity, on human beings, on white people, on working class white girls, about black people, about Bengalis, about Sri Lankans, about the Shidi community in Pakistan, bro, it's just incumbent upon us to make sure that what we heard growing up is not repeated for the next generation. And also challenging people and that's the, you know what, the hardest thing to do is to challenge your boys in it, or your girls. Like when they say something flippantly, it might be they're trying to make a joke or whatever, and they say something, the hardest thing to do is like, yo, can you just don't say that, innit? And it's not it's not like don't say it in front of me, it's like just don't say that, full stop. And that's hard.
Bro, I want to give you an example, yeah? I've come out the barbers now and I see some of my friends, yeah? One of them's Jamaican, one of them's Kurdish, two of them are Pakistanis. And one of them is saying to another one of them about another dude, this guy's a dickhead, blah, 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 blah. And then he used a racist term, yeah? And I was stood there and I was like, yo, blood, you got to hold that. That ain't acceptable, bro. Every single one of them looked at me and you know what they said? They went, bro, can you tell your jokes and fuck off, please? It's hard, bro. It's going to be hard, bro.
People is because hard. It's necessary, but it's hard.
Bro, it's so hard because to some of the man them, bro, they don't even care. They're like, how can I be racist? I'm going to go to prison for my man over here. You calling me racist? You're a fucking dickhead, bro. Like, the cogs aren't, it doesn't connect, Tez. But it's important, bro, that we try every single time to make a point of what's right and wrong. Because, yeah, you in your own personal life, that might not mean that to you, but it certainly will to someone else. So it's in common. Bro, look, we're running out of time.
Listen, you tell me, bro, what... I kept interrupting you because we went on some mad tangents here. Brother Guz Khan, what do you want your legacy to be? And second question, is there going to be Man Like Mobeeeeenah season 4? And when is it out? That might be easier to answer first.
I don't know about Man Like Mobeeeeenah series 4. I see Dick Lungi. I'm having great fun in lockdown right now, Tez.
Okay, good.
You know what I mean?
Gone. Shut your mouth now.
Finish, okay.
Not you, these comments. Shut your mouth. Okay, Guz, what do you want your legacy to be?
I would like my legacy to be that from the earliest point, if you know who I am, that to the day that I leave this dunya, people will say, yo, Guz never changed. And when I say never changed, I don't mean in terms of he didn't try to become a better person. I mean my personality. Because if I'm the same person I am right now, Tez, I'm sure you'll agree, bro. I'm all right, innit?
You're all right, kid. But what about in terms of, so like, what do you want to achieve though? So in this game...
Oh, Menuki Pata!
But ideally, innit? We're having this conversation. Ideally, what would you like to do?
Bro, I'd like the legacy to be that you can come in the game and keep it real.
Chalo, alright, let's put that on a fucking pencil.
Innit? Oh, pencil, t-shirt la.
T-shirt la, yeah. Listen, I've got a special coming out tomorrow.
I thought it was out today.
No, it is out today to my mailing list, but it's out tomorrow to everyone else.
Fucking hell, mate, you got a mailing list. Listen, Mubarak, you're going to smash that, but listen, real talk, we had a great lockdown. Me and you both had a great lockdown.
We've got work to do.
Anna? We've got a lot of work to do.
Let's make that mockumentary. Let's make that horror film about jinns. I know you're scared of jinns.
Astaghfirullah, I don't want to do that. But it's too sexy in karna hai na.
That, well, depends.
Nah, tu karna Emma Watson not sexy.
Who you casting?
Whatever you like, mate. I'll cast you like a dirty boy. Misogyny bastard. Finish Hoja. Instagram live. What's up,
we've got 1 minute, 15 seconds left. Talk to me. What we going to do next year? Apart from, I mean, you're going to do Mad Like season 4. I'll sit my ass in it. But what else?
No, I don't know, bro. Obviously, I'm trying to develop and work on some stuff. But, you know, everything so far, bro, that's come my way. In particular, bro, look, you got your 10-year anniversary tomorrow. That's not been the way it's been for me. So you know me, man. I'll take whatever comes my way. I'll continue to try and grow as a person and make dope shit and keep shit real and try. Bruv, you know what, man? We need to just go on a holiday.
Awesome, Anthony. Imagine that tour, but abroad.
Banged up abroad. Banged up abroad, Tez Ilyas edition.
There'll be a country, there'll be a whole continent that will be banned from.
No, you know the worst thing is though, bro? I want to say something before we go. Yeah, you know your personality means that even if we do get arrested, you will be released within 3 hours and I will go to prison for the rest of my life, even if you fucking did it. That summarizes me and Tez Ilyas.
Gus Khan, I love you. You are my best friend in this industry. More power, more life. May you get everything halal that your heart desires. I love you, bro. Gus Khan, this has been Legacy. Good night. God bless you all. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Bye, Tesbians.
Wow, what an episode. I'm sure you guys all enjoy that. Guz Khan official. I'm sure you're already following him, but if you're not, go follow him on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and just find out what he'll be doing next. I've been Tez Ilyas. Subscribe, like this video, comment on it. Let me know who else you would like to see in this series. We've got some amazing guests lined up for you, but I'm curious as to who you'd like me to talk to. Watch the other videos on this. I've got a vlog about how I'm going to write a book, and also, of course, my stand-up special, Testify. Subscribe, like everything that I do, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.